Love is a powerful force. Most times, it could be the most wonderful thing, and yet there'll be times when love would cloud reasons. Perhaps it could make you do things you would regret for the rest of your lives. Hi, welcome back to Caesar Talks. This is Caesar, your host, and this week we're exploring the story of Sarah Scazzi back in Italy. To be precise, we're exploring a small town in Italy, the township of Avetrana, a small town in the province of Taranto in southeast Italy with a population not exceeding 7,000 people. Nothing much of note can be said about a town. However, this little hick of a town suddenly got attention from the whole of Italy in 2010. Overnight, it had become famous, or rather infamous, for all the wrong reasons. This is a tale of two closely related families. The story began at the end of the summer, 26th of August 2010. Sarah Scazzi was a 15-year-old teenager who intended to visit her cousin Sabrina Miseri at 2:30 p.m. Both of them had planned to go to the beach along with a common friend, Maria. The distance between Sarah's and Sabrina's house was only a few hundred meters, but Sarah did not show up. As she was getting late, Sabrina got anxious and started calling her cell phone, but she did not pick up. After a while, Sabrina decided to call Sarah's parents, but they too did not know her whereabouts. Concetta Serrano, Sarah's mother, decided to call the police. The police asked the mother about Sarah's background and daily habits. The mother told the police that Sarah was a hospitality student and she was quite active on Facebook. She has many friends, and notably older friends. Some were even older than Concetta, her mother. She did not like to hang out with the girls her age. As such, Sarah often hung out with her 22-year-old cousin Sabrina and her friends far above her age. And because of the size of the town, Sarah often has a similar group of friends with Sabrina. One such friend was Ivano Russo, a cook, and according to both Sarah and Sabrina, a good-looking and charming guy. The police gave a theory that Sarah might have run away from her house with a man she knew from Facebook, but her mother strongly disagreed with the theory. Both Concetta and Sabrina's families strongly believe that Sarah must have been kidnapped instead of running away, as the disappearance was something rather unheard of in rural Italy. The case was picked up by the mass media. Sarah's background was dissected by the media. One of them even claimed that Sarah was rather rebellious and had numerous quarrels with her mother, that she was rather wild and had often hung out with teen boys, and she had dreamt of moving to the big city and becoming a famous person. However, all of these negative views of Sarah's were outright denied by both Sarah's and Sabrina's families. She was a good teenager, and it would be impossible for her to have run away like that. As the case was picked up by more Italian media, Sabrina often came up as the face of the family and appeared on TVs defending her and pleading for a safe release. A month went by as the search continued. On September 29th, 2010, Sabrina's dad, Michele Miseri, cried while talking in front of the camera. He said he had found Sarah's cell phone. It was found in a nearby field, half burnt. With this new information, the police came by and questioned Michele on October 6th. After a grueling 6 hours of interrogation, Michele could not hold it anymore, and he made a shocking confession. He told the police that he had killed Sarah on August 26th. When Sarah came to his house that afternoon, he confessed he tried to do inappropriate things with Sarah. However, Sarah fought back, and Michele retaliated. Unfortunately, Sarah was killed in the garage. Not wanting to be found out, Michele took the body and dumped her in the well in his property on the outskirts of town. Later the same day, he burned her belongings to discard any evidence. Hearing such a surprise confession shocked Sarah's mother and Michele's daughter and wife. They could not believe what they had heard. Sabrina even came to the media to condemn her father's misdeed. With her body finally found and traces of Sarah's DNA identified in Michele's car, the case should have been solved. But the police were not satisfied just yet. Somehow, there is still something not quite right, especially when it came to Michele's confessions. The police deemed the confessions to be rather inconsistent, with details missing or jumbled up, especially the part where Sarah was never sexually assaulted, as Michele had initially told the police. It was as if Michele was retelling someone else's story. Was it possible that Michele was covering for someone? One such person might just be his own daughter, Sabrina, for which the police had some suspicions early on. This was backed by Maria Angela's confession, Sabrina's friends. Maria told the police that Sabrina looked overly nervous, and she was rather quick to insist that Sarah was kidnapped, and they needed to report her missing friend to the police immediately. The police also found out that there were witness accounts of a fight happening in a bar the day before the incident between Sarah and Sabrina. With Michele's confession getting unreliable and inconsistent with the autopsy report, the police drilled Michele further. Michele finally gave up and made a new confession. Michele told the police that Sabrina, her daughter, is directly involved with the murder. She was the one who led Sarah to the garage, while Michele was the one who strangled Sarah. With this brand new confession, on October 18th, Sabrina was interrogated for more than 16 hours straight. Sabrina vehemently denied any involvement in the crime and accused her father to have lied and dragged her down with him. Nevertheless, the police did not believe Sabrina was innocent, and after some thorough investigations, interviews with friends and residents, the police concluded that there was a love triangle that had been happening between Sarah, Sabrina, and Ivano Russo, the 27-year-old cook. It all started when the two cousins met with Ivano in December 2009. The three became close soon enough, and Sabrina thought she had a crush on Ivano. But even though they once had sex, Ivano refused to be Sabrina's lover. Meanwhile, Sarah too fell for Ivano's charm, but her luck did not fare better. Ivano saw her just like a sister. Heartbroken, Sarah did something that might have caused Sabrina's anger. Sarah told people that Sabrina and Ivano have had an intimate relationship despite not being a couple. Such an act is rather uncommon in this little town, and soon enough the gossip reached back to Ivano's ears. This made Ivano keep his distance from Sabrina. Sabrina felt that her relationship and reputation were damaged by Sarah. She was not having it and felt the need to exact revenge. However, less than a month after his amended confession, Michele changed his story once more. This time, Michele blamed Sabrina as the main culprit. He was just helping her dispose of the body. Michele explained to the police that on August 26, he was taking a nap when he was woken up by Sabrina. Sabrina told Michele that she had a quarrel with Sarah that led to her death. They decided to carry her body and dump the body in the well. According to Michele, his wife, Cosima Serrano, was also present during this time. With this new info, the police picked up Cosima and interrogated her. And after a while, the police concluded that Sabrina was the mastermind of the murder, with the help of her mother, Cosima. This theory was also supported by a report of a witness, a local florist by the name of Giovanni. he reported to the police that during the fateful afternoon, he saw Sarah running out of Sabrina's house, being chased by a car driven by Sabrina and her mother Cosima. Sarah was caught and was put in the car, and according to the police, once they arrived at the garage, Sabrina killed Sarah before finally waking and asking her dad to help dispose of the body. Hearing the accusations, both of them protested and sternly rejected the theory. They were still adamant that Michele was the one to blame and not them, but the police did not believe their story. For one thing, Cosima told the police that she was not in the garage that afternoon. However, the police were able to trace her cell phone, making a phone call inside the garage that afternoon. Nevertheless, the media blew up the case all over Italy. It became public conversations for some time, with the case getting ever complicated, implicating 15 other parties to the case, ranging from extended families to their own lawyers. Safe to say, the public's eyes were fixated to the small town case. There were multitudes of charges being brought over to these people, including from giving false testimonies to concealing a crime. The trial started in early 2012, but it lasted longer than expected. Around December 2012, there was a point where Michele made a scene during the trial. While crying, he admitted that he was the real culprit. Frustrated with his client's ever-changing testimonies, Michele's lawyer decided to resign. The trial had to be suspended while Michele was hiring another lawyer. But in the end, around April 2013, the court finally gave the sentences to Sabrina, Cosima, and Michele. As the main perpetrators, both Sabrina and her mother Cosima were sentenced to life in prison. Meanwhile, the father received 8 years. Ivano Russo, the man behind the cousins' love feud, received 5 years due to perjury, as he was lying multiple times to the police. Michele's brother was also sentenced to 6 years for helping to dispose the body, while Sabrina's lawyer was also sentenced to 1 year and 4 months due to his advice to Sabrina to cover up some facts. But ultimately, the sentences rather divided the Italian public in general. One side believes Michele was the real killer who tried to pin the blame on his wife and daughter, but most people believe that Sabrina was the real perpetrator through the support of a dominant mother, and Michele was forced to cover for her family's misdeeds. That is it for today's story, guys. What do you think of the case? Would you have covered for your family out of love as Michele did, or would you stand by the truth even when it will put them in jail? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and like. See you next week. Cheers.